So I'm informed that 12:23 a.m. in Hartford, Connecticut. The body's no, the body's already in the morgue coroner's office in Hartford. Sylvia's dad and Jason's uncle, right? Passed away last night at 12:23 a.m. Right, of cardiac arrest. Um, Everything was left under my mom's responsibility, but he wanted to show something to everybody that the money doesn't go to the girl in inheritance until 1979. Inheritance never went to a female. The first person that of 1971 was in San Francisco, no, San Diego, in Obispo. It was HR. No, that wasn't E. Some lady. I don't even need to get the details on it. And she had two brothers, and they left the girl the inheritance, and she died exactly 3 years later. And the brothers ended up getting the full inheritance. A female should never get the inheritance. Is a recipe for disaster. But he said that since she just graduated UCLA, right? At 21, she's 22 right now. No, 21. She was working at Dwayne Reed for her Lexington and 57. That you're supposed to mentor and take her in, and I have the access to the funds. I don't know how much they left. I think it was over 100-200 million dollars. But he was a Long Island resident. He's originally from the Bronx. Anyway, rest in peace, and probably you guys will get informed later on in the day, or you guys have to call the Hartford, Connecticut's coroner office. Second of all, I wanted to talk. Still on the adoption issue. I'm out of breath. I'm sorry. Adoption is a really bad thing. Brian was put up for adoption, and he wasn't found in an adoption agency. The family, no, he was an adoption agency in Wisconsin, Green Bay, no, Northton, Wisconsin. Like Grand Rapids, they found after 4 years, 7 years, no, 4 years, they found him in an orphanage, and you saw he was mentally retarded. Unfortunately, Macho Camacho was adopted at the hospital. Where saying he was abandoned too. Tony was left in the orphanage till 3 years old, no, 4 years old, until his aunt came pick them up from Italy, and they moved to Jersey to Springfield, was it? Irvington, Springfield, right? No, Irvington. And then who else? Richie was left. My brother was left in the orphanage until he was 3 years old in the San Juan adoption agency, and Judy Garland was left, and my grandma Elizabeth Taylor had her, and my grandfather never knew nothing, Fidel Castro, about her. It was an S in Germany, and she left. And the second day after her giving birth, she left to back to her Bel Air home, and she left abandoned. My grandmother found out 4 years later that my Evelyn, Judy Garland, Judith E. Feliciano, was her aunt, her adopted mom, was left in an orphanage, and my grandfather wanted to adopt her. No. Queen Elizabeth wanted to adopt her. No. She went against the rules of the royal family and adopted Judy E. Garland out of this adoption in orphanage in Frankfurt. No, Tony was in Frankfurt. No, Tony was in Munich. She was in an orphanage in Frankfurt. And my thing, orphanage means the word offend. It's a Croatian word. In English, it means offend. And you guys offend us every single time. And mostly when you come in, it's offensive. And orphanage means offensive. What does offend mean? Offend is a Bulgarian word, ofon. And in Portuguese is a wrong. And in Castellano is wrong. And in España is ovel. And in Español is ovel. And in Español es ovel. Obedecer. And English is to obey. You offend, but you don't need to obey us. You can't offend us. You gotta obey us. That's what orphans are. And then you remind me, you ever watched the movie Orphan? It was one of my favorite movies. And you were never satisfied with anything. Trust me. It's like the song from Prince. My mom, she's never satisfied. Blah blah blah. You're crazy. He's talking about his mom was an orphan and a BabyBop. Prince. About Aretha Franklin was a BabyBop, but that's the thing, She's never satisfied. What it sounds like when doves cry. And the orphans do not qualify to be queens. Okay, you did the same thing to my brother Richie, and you adopted him because you thought you were gonna you screw over and embarrass the royal family with the little Audia and the Bonilla kid, and the Bonilla kid. You are our Bonilla kid. That's why Grandpa calls you La Bonilla. But you are our Bonilla kid. You don't qualify for anything, Garland. You don't qualify for money, and you don't qualify to be for being a princess, and you never will be a princess. It's my option to make you a princess, not Queen Elizabeth. Does she have an option? Hers is no. My option, but you qualify if you stay with my dad because he's a prince. You're not a princess. So you don't qualify. Que se jodan, que me coronan. Aquí yo me siento hasta que me coronan. A todo cojón, que me coronen. A BabyBop espera su corona. El día de su honor. Anyway, bye.